one.
Here we go.
All right, let's do this. Friday at 5 p.m. Week 0 is here. Let's hit the books. Part of the Hammer Betting Network, alongside the man, the myth, the legend himself, Joey Knish, producer extraordinaire Zach Phillips with us. I am merely Brad Powers. Before we get to all the questions, comments, concerns. Oh, by the way, I see the chat talking about who is late. Come on, folks. I was late one time. 4-1. You missed a 0. 40-1. Shame there. But yeah, look at this. Yes, we were running on Knish time, but he had to get his nice fancy t-shirt. FanDuel.
Hey.
Speaking of FanDuel, well, go ahead.
Well, I got to give a shout out to my people down at Motor City FanDuel, my guy JP, Paulie, a couple other guys down there, Steve-O, hooked it up with a little FanDuel gear. Big fans of the show. So shout out to my folks at Detroit Motor City who always treat me right down there, and love that FanDuel crew. Best customer service in the business, and hooked it up with some swag. Got some for you too. I got to send it out to you.
Looking forward to it. And speaking of FanDuel, nice transition here. Football is back, and while this is a college football show, no better place to get on NFL action than FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. If you've been living under a rock, yes, indeed, we do have a sponsor for this football season. It is FanDuel. And if you're looking for FanDuel as far as the NFL, right now, all customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of the NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Then you'll be able to watch every single regular season Sunday afternoon out-of-market game. Plus, with FanDuel, you don't even have to leave the app to access real-time stats and data to help you make even more winning bets. Just visit FanDuel.com/hitthebooks to download America's #1 sportsbook. That's FanDuel.com/hitthebooks. Note, hit the books is one word. We do have our own promotion. We made it to the big time. Now, you must be 21 plus, 18 plus DC, and present in select states. Offer ends September the 22nd. After the 3-week free trial, the full price of NFL Sunday Ticket will be automatically changed seasonally. Cancel anytime, no refunds. Terms, restrictions, and embargoes apply. YouTube TV base plan required to watch YouTube TV. Redemption requires a Google account and current form of payment. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg/help.com. Let's do this, Knish. I'm looking forward to this.
I mean, also, just not to go over the top with the pro, but like 3 weeks free a Sunday Ticket is like, do you see the price of Sunday Ticket? What that costs now for a full season? It's like $750. So that bet 5, if you're not taking advantage of that 3 weeks free, I would highly recommend it. But no, baby, we're finally here.
Wasn't it like $150 like maybe a decade ago?
No joke. Like, it was seriously, like, I remember times where I swear, like, we're old enough to remember like $99.99 Sunday Ticket for the year, and now it's almost like $1,000.
What can you do with these prices? Is that one of the complaints? Were you down there at the DNC?
I saw the comment there. Just took an overnight to get back here. After some tears in my eyes after Michelle and Kamala spoke. So but I tell you, that is the price of content these days is not cheap here. Except on Hit the Books, baby, where we're coming to you live and free every week. So, but no, we are. It feels good to be on the precipice, and I'm excited. I am very excited. As excited as I don't know. Feels good for a week 0. And you know what? Going into I'm kind of. I know it's a smaller slate. Some people complain about the games. I'm intrigued by some of these games.
You know what? Before we get into it, I got a quick comment. You know what I'd like to see week 0? I'd like to see like all the FCS versus FBS games played in week 0. And then Labor Day weekend be like the big one where you have like 20 big time matchups. Like we only have 4 or 5. I'd like imagine if it was like 20 games like LSU, USC type of games,
Yep.
Notre Dame, Texas A&M. Instead of 4 or 5 of them, have 20 of them
No,
on
I
Labor Day
agree. I
weekend.
think the FCS could be doing like a showcase weekend type of thing where,
Yep.
like you have some games on even Sunday or something where
Yep.
you kind of come out ahead of it here before, everything gets in. So, yeah, I agree with you. I think they could schedule this a little better, or I mean, have a couple of premium. I know a lot of teams don't want to play on this weekend, but hey, I mean, I don't know. Did some of these teams want to join different conferences? Probably not. They did it for the money. So let's keep it rolling and do it for the money.
Yeah, let's keep it rolling for the money. I can get another bye week. Come on. Let's get in the chat because the chat was active. 9:35 my time. RW fan 23 in the chat. Love it. And early on the Mountain West preview, you guys both seemed high on Hawaii relative to market. Boise probably wins the Mountain West. We certainly hope so in that one. But what are you guys' thoughts on Hawaii to make the Mountain West? Oh, to make the Mountain West championship game at 20-1. Indifferent. And to make it, I mean, if that was just to win it, I'd say absolutely not. To make it, okay. I will. Did you get this? I saw this flash. I did not get the long shot in Hawaii. I think I saw as high as 70 or 80-1 to win the conference. That got bet before I even got in on that. So that was the play.
I didn't get 70. Do have a small sprinkle on I think 60 and a touch of 40 or something. But I mean, I don't to be honest with you, I don't hate the 20-1 to make it if you want to fly around them. That way you don't have to, sweat a head situation where they'd be an obvious dog. They do have, I mean, if there's you'll know pretty early here in this Hawaii schedule because they've got the San Diego State game, then Boise comes in. And then, at Fresno State there. So they didn't get a lot of favors in terms of the schedule favorability. The flip side of that is if you can get one of those games against kind of that elite tier and have the tiebreaker, then maybe you can make a move. But, I wouldn't go crazy on 20. But, I think Hawaii will be improved. Probably not to that level yet where it's worth more than a sprinkle to get to the championship game.
I'll be happy if they go over their win total and they cover them early numbers against the Bruins. If you catch my drift when it comes to the Warriors this year. Arthur in the chat. Any love for over 55.5 or first half over 27.5? Florida State, Georgia Tech. Thanks as always. Smash that like button. Thank you for that, Arthur. But unfortunately, I do not like the first half or full game over for me. I think you lean towards the over full game. The old tout service gave out first half under. Now it was 28. I mean, general football score. I mean, pretty important to get that 28. But the old tout service gave out first half under. As the two teams kind of lean into the season, there's a 28.5 there, juiced a little bit. But that's where I would be on this game.
I didn't. This is bad on me for not realizing they had a 28.5 there. So Joey K is going to try and grab that. I'll
tell you what. Let's just fire. Best bet under 28.5 minus 128.
I agree with the play there, and you can lock that in as a best bet and as a financial bet that I'm about to make here myself. I agree with you in terms of that. I like that. Definitely better than the full game total. And when I was looking for full game, it was more so at numbers 54. that never really came back. I was kind of looking for the 54, 53.5. I early it was like 52, by months ago. So they never really got there, and then it bounced back. So I think that's one of those, if you were somebody that played, a 56, maybe, I don't know if it touched 57, then went back down to, the 54, 50. So I think right now it's sitting about where it's at. I think that's, if you're looking to play an under, that's definitely that didn't last very long there, but
no, I bet it didn't. I did not see that. I did see a 20. I did see a 28.5. Look at that go, folks. That's the power of hit the books, the power of Joey Knish's bet there.
But no, good on Brett.
We'll revisit that one later in the show. But yeah, 28.5 is really good. I found that 28.5 when the old tout service gave out under 28. So that should be a good one. I even like look, if you're forced to play under 28, I still like that. Zach in the chat, first time chat. Well, appreciate that, Zach.
Thank you.
Been listening since the beginning. A lot of talk on X about SMU Nevada. How do we feel? Well, I'll put it in the man's shoes. I think he's feeling pretty good right now.
Well,
And that is Joey Knish, who gave out SMU as the best bet on Monday.
I'm feeling better about than when it, touched 24.5 after some other people going to get, listen, I'll just tell you, like I had a financial position early in this game. I also added some more a little bit when we were talking on the show at 26.5. And then I added some real position when it got down to, I was able to get a little bit of a juice 24 there.
It touched 24.
Yeah. So I think I paid close like 24 minus 115 or something like that. So I'm on it in a number of ways. Again, we've talked about this game. I don't have a lot of faith in Nevada. Now it's funny because we're gonna teaser here, gonna give out a prop on Nevada for one of the player props here, but I just don't think this Nevada team. There's not a lot to like. I see from I know they changed added a couple transfers on, especially on offense. Their offense might be more. I might be more bullish on the defense. I just think SMU is gonna. I didn't get the cluster injuries. They had like Cam Wheaton was one injury. They had a backup line, but I didn't. To me, I didn't see a ton
those
of
guys weren't starters. So.
No, it was all like guys who to me weren't even worth when you add them up a half point. So, but I know some people that have made this game closer to 30, and some people that obviously have made this game closer to 23, 24. So, yeah. I think to me, I agree with the more to 30 side, and that the line should be around 28. So I think anything what we played on the show or anything under 27 is good. Now it's mostly painted 27s again.
Yeah, right back to where we wanted to be. So kudos for you there. There you go.
And I'll tell you the other thing the later the money, the more serious the money. So that's all I'm gonna say to that. The longer you wait.
Well, I would say, I'm gonna caveat that.
Okay.
Because game day money hasn't been necessarily great.
That's fair. That's fair. But
I'm telling you guys, the moves to look out for during the football season, and we'll talk about them, are Friday. It used to be like Friday evening. Used to roll in, eat 5 o'clock or later. But now it's starting to show even earlier in Friday morning. Those are the moves you want to pay attention to in the market. Are those moves? And we saw a little bit of move. Maybe it was Knish. Maybe the bankroll's getting there. I don't know. I mean, I'm not seeing any of that, but kudos. SMU taking some money. Agree with that. It's Knish's best bet, but I don't disagree with it. I'll be rooting for SMU. I already have SMU in pocket. RW fan. Oh no, I got to skip down. Russ in the chat. Florida State controls the line of scrimmage. Offensive line pushes Tech around. Defensive line harasses King. Defensive backs have multiple takeaways. Seminoles 38-17. What say you, gentlemen? I do prefer if you got to bet the side, and I did because it's flashed at times. Every time it flashes, it lasts, depending on the book, maybe 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I have bet Florida State minus 10. Not a big bet, but a bet. I'm a degenerate. I want action on the game. So I did lay a little 10.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you kind of nailed it there. I think that was the buy point for a lot of people, and every time it gets there, it gets bought up. It's funny. An old Canadian book I don't talk about anymore on the show. I think actually had a 9.5 for at some point. Somebody sent me a picture of it. So
did you drive it? Did you sneak across the border?
No, I couldn't get across it. Sidebar: the border has been backed every weekend now. The border's been backed.
What's going on with that?
They're building a new bridge here. No joke. It's called the Gordie Howe Bridge. So there's going to be like a third. I can't wait till it opens so it can take some of the traffic out of here. But it's been a pain to go over in the moment. So I need Phillips to call some of his people and get it, get this work done here so I can start getting over a little bit more often.
So it's backed up to go to Canada. It's not backed up.
Either way, the traffic is a nightmare. So, but long story short, that was the only 9.5 I saw. The 10s I saw people buying get bought up. So this is one I think, if you like Florida State, maybe you sneak a little 10 in because it's kind of in a dead zone now. But that would be the only way I'm looking.
The FanDuel sharp book. They're hanging 11.5.
Yeah, I like that. If I'm booking, I would have that number more so than.
Yeah, I would too. I would too. So kudos to FanDuel there. Luke in the chat, is Penn State worth a bye week 1 with the line down to 9? I made it 9, so I no bet at the current number for me. I have West Virginia in pocket.
You know what? I was I was gonna say if you want to go head to head on that one at
no,
9.
Not yet. I don't know
right.
if it's done moving yet. So
There's even
guy respect was on West Virginia there.
Okay, there's some. It's gotten even cheap. I wouldn't 9. Definitely don't bet 9 if you haven't, because I'm seeing
8.5's out there. Oh,
yeah.
An 8. I see. I'm seeing an 8.
Yeah. So, yeah, I
ain't going head to head on 8.
I lean.
You want to go head to head on 10? Because I'll split the difference. I took 12. I'll give you head to head on 10.
No, I don't want 10.
Okay.
I want the 8.5 at FanDuel right now is what I want.
It would be a lay 7 situation for me. So
I agree.
We're not going to get there.
I don't think it gets there. That'll be a very Florida State-ish. If you're one of those guys who's watching the screen and you see it get close, I would buy it because or if it's, I'll hopefully beat you to it. Because I agree. I'd be looking any thinner, and I'll be getting a piece of Penn State.
And that'll be something to watch because, I mean, there's hardly any new information. The teams, for the most part, are probably done scrimmaging at this point. The big physical 100, play practices. So not much is going to be changing here unless it's freak accident injuries in practice. So a lot of times you get that one-way just action because the information doesn't change. And then it does end up getting cheap where I didn't have a bet on a single game all summer, and all of a sudden it might be my favorite play of the week at the current numbers. So we'll see what happens as we get Monday and then obviously next Friday. Peter in the chat. Brendan, we adjust that as far as the Florida State when it drops to 10. Any thoughts? Yep, Florida State's a bet at 10. Peter in the chat, what are your thoughts on Northwestern back under a field goal? It's not widely available yet. If it became widely available, I would be the old tout service would have Northwestern minus 2.5 as a play. I know your buddy likes Miami, Ohio there. I don't. I got to bet pure power ratings, and my power ratings say Northwestern. Northwestern be one of my strongest power ratings play of the week right now.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I know some people but actually some people that were in on it before it moved to 3.5. I know some people that bought the 4s, and then obviously Tunes, took out some of the 3.5, bounce back. I agree.
Did you bet it?
I have a little bit of Miami, Ohio from early, but I'm with you on. To me, this is it's such a margin game where I agree with you. Northwestern under a field goal would be my preference. Between the two, because I agree. One, that Chuck Martin video this week about the kicker going just absolutely peak Mac.
It'd be funny if they lost by a field goal.
Yeah. I love that he just called that out. No sauce there. But I agree. It feels, I don't know, almost reminiscent of the UTEP game last year that you nailed.
Yeah, it's just getting too cheap. I mean, Northwestern.
Everybody.
Look, I bet under Northwestern win total. It's not like I'm high on them. Man, that's pretty. 2.5 cheap. Again, if it does become widely available at 2.5, I'm just letting you guys know. Tout Service is giving out Northwestern, meaning top play of the week material. Nicholas in the chat. Oklahoma State minus 9.5. I would lean that way. This one not widely available yet. Oklahoma State against South Dakota State, but I would lean that way. Would it be favorite FCS play? No. FBS versus FCS play? No. But that's where I'd lean there. Have you heard any whispers on that one?
I actually snuck a little 10.5 plus 10.5 in at a few places. So I kind of lean. I think. Lean the Jacks for me at 10 or more. But I agree. I know some people that liked it. If it was 8.5, 9.5, it's bounced out. I think that's one that's pretty. I think it'll close right around there. I think you'll have buyers over 10, would have buyers under 10. So I agree with you. Not one that's like a huge lean either way. I'm still salty from my taste in the mouth over Oklahoma State last year. But I mean. I think that's one of the ones I'm definitely excited to watch, probably the most. because both teams bring an absolute ton back. So we'll see what week one. But I don't know. I lean the Jacks in that one.
John in the chat, Brad, who is betting UAB win total over to move the juice that much? I think Dr. Bob. I think has UAB over. He influences markets. No, I'm 90% sure on that. I'll have to get back to that, but I'm pretty sure that's the case on that one. I was indifferent. I'm a big anti-Dilfer, but I thought the 6.5 win total. I didn't bet under, so it's not like I disagree. I just that was a bet that I didn't make yet, so that's what got released a couple days ago. There, SMU total lean, team total. I'm guessing. Have you played anything like that? This is from David in the chat.
No, I didn't. I actually had one of the guys was asking about week one team totals this week, and I was looking, didn't see it, but I don't have any team total action in the 4-pack for tomorrow. So I don't have, just don't have any. I don't want to. We'll wait till I think some people asked about it, the game. So I'll give the total lean on one of the other games when the question comes up.
Okay. Gillen in chat, worth a look at Preston Stone under 231.5 pass yards if Jennings expect to take some snaps. What have you heard on that one? That's the moles on you. It makes sense.
It does make. You know what? The quarterback split. That's a weird one because how much are they going to split? Is it baked in? I don't have a great feel on. It's also very. That was an odd quote there. So I don't know if it's like Jennings gets in for a series no matter what after a few series. Is it going to be, is it going to be in garbage time where he gets in? I'll give you the other one. Might as well because we're on it. Zach, you can put in the Brandon Lewis over 140.5 there for passing yardage. This was a franchise approved one. We didn't play it much. I think we got it 130, but anything under 150 was a go here. So you can sign off on that 140.5. This is a simple, and I don't love Brendan Lewis as a passer. And to be honest with you, would he even be starting if Chubba Purdy was healthy? Probably not. But you're getting a 3-4 score dog here that with a new OC and some new wide receivers that hit this mark when he was, in the first half of last season when their offense was playing a little before it completely cratered. He hit. So this is kind of a number that I think they just grabbed from, averaging last year, some of the games. I would be shocked if he didn't hit 140 in this game because I think they're going to be a little bit more pass happy. He should be a little bit more comfortable. Hopefully the line and the receiver, some of the transfer stuff should be a little better. So like 140, and it's a game they should be trailing. They should need to throw. I don't think you have the worry, especially with Purdy out, of him getting pulled. So I could see a lot of like garbage yards eaten up in that one. So like the passing yardage over 140.5 there for Mr. Lewis. So that's the player prop best bet for the 4-pack this weekend.
There you go. Best bet over Lewis. Like it over 140.5 FanDuel. Mr. Roboto 6, is it South Alabama time yet in week 1? I do disagree with 10 on that one. I'm more on the South Alabama side there. Anything under a touchdown. That's where I'm at on that one. I know they don't have anybody back as far as returning experience. I know they got a new staff, but the staff, the head coach, the OC, the DC were all on the staff last year. A lot of the replacements, we watched them in the bowl game. They absolutely destroyed the Eastern Michigan in that game. I like the Lopez kid at quarterback. So
yeah, me too.
I like South Alabama in the game, and I'm not wild about North Texas this year.
That's one I'm surprised didn't have any. There wasn't really resistance, and then if anything, it kept going. Then it kind of went through the 5. Now whether it's even some 4.5 out there. So
we might revisit that one next week.
Yeah,
I'll rubber stamp. So just letting you know, because I know people are going to want bets, and a lot of these numbers have been taken out. But that's one where I disagree. So we'll probably revisit that one at some point next week.
I don't necessarily disagree where he played it. I would never play North Texas now at where the current market's at.
Played it at a key number. You might have heard of it. 7. So, it's a big difference. Let's see if it goes. Let's see if we can get a 4. I mean, it'll be go time there. The big time there. Cree in the chat. Did you guys do anything with Troy's win total at 6.5? Boy, a lot of people like the under 6.5. I was an idiot and played like 4 months ago over because I didn't downgrade Troy enough like I should have. So unfortunately, I have that. It wasn't a big bet; it was a small bet, but I can just tell you multiple people that I respect are on under 6.5 wins on Troy.
Yeah, I mean that it could be kind of one of those. We'll see here. One of those kind of program changing off seasons for where Troy football is. It'll be interesting to see if they can keep it. But they had a nice little stretch there. Had a couple of great coaches. And they lose their, the great DC, lose their head coach. Obviously, a lot of talent walked out the door. So, and obviously some folks in the market already faded them week 1 versus Nevada.
Oh yeah, they're going to be a play against team. Because Nevada, a team that not wild in the market, was played heavily. What'd you think about the timing of that? Like, if Nevada gets killed, I mean, a standalone type of game.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, it really is. It's funny because the timing wise, it kind of got played after Nevada took some market.
Yeah, good call.
And
there.
Then now
we're right back to where we were.
Yeah, we're right
and
back.
Say they do get crushed. I mean, by 30 some points, which I think is a possibility. That was in no man's land. It was 15 and a half. Not telling people what to do, but you could have maybe gotten a 17, but because everybody overreacts. So that it's a finite, small number of games. They're going to overreact to what we see in week 0. That's a macro level thing. I'll say. Expect, because everyone's going to be watching these games this weekend for the most part, and there's going to be too much overreaction as far as I'm concerned. One other thing that he asked about Montana State first half. Yeah, that's good. I mean, that's minus 6.5. I mean, that's better than market when it's trading at 7.5. So if you got a 6.5 out there, I mean, if you can find Montana State first half minus 6.5, I think that's a go.
I agree. I don't see
not widely available.
You got it. I agree.
Yep. T. Lynch, if close, worth looking at FSU second half. DC Fuller, Mike were a cash cow second half last year, allowing under 7 points a game on average. Team total 10 in the second half scoring. They. I don't know. I like Florida State. I'll just say that. I mean, certainly if it plays out that way, I could see that. I would trust them to make the adjustments over Georgia Tech.
Yeah, I would lean that way as well. But I mean, you gotta see kind of what data you're. I mean, obviously the big question mark is going to be this FSU offense and kind of what they're looking like, and then what the score is at after. So a lot of I don't want to rubber stamp that before we have any first half data.
Colmsy, sorry, we disagree. Tech plus 10.5, but you get 11 if you like Tech. At 10.5, go to FanDuel, get them at 11.5.
I agree. Yeah, right. Yeah, don't.
I mean, folks, come on.
Our friends at FanDuel have 11.5. Trust me. That's not a good long-term idea to be playing the 10.5 and you go get yourself an 11.5.
Mason in the chat, Merry College Football Eve. Yep, right back at you. If you had to take a flyer on a Power 4 long shot to make the college football playoff, who would you target at a current price? Oh, wow.
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah, it's one that I haven't thought about.
Power 4.
Probably somebody out of the Big 12. Just because it's a wide open one if you win the league. You got one?
You know what? There's I agree with you where, I don't know if we're counting this long shot, but you've got Oklahoma State, UCF, Iowa State at 7-1 and 850 to 1. That would definitely be the those 3 contenders in that conference to get the auto bid there. So that would be one. Now you could argue like, do I just want to buy? Buy? It's funny because those are very similar prices to their conference futures. So maybe shop it there. I don't have any. I think honestly, once you get past that 10-1 range, you're really. I'm not going to say burning money, but you're really asking for it in terms of. Most of these teams have you're not getting the proper equity to get in terms of like them actually winning the conference. So I would say maybe if you like somebody in the Big 12 or the ACC, which are the only ones I could ever see, kind of a team coming at that 40 to 50. I mean, I'll give you an example, like Georgia Tech, magical improvement this year. They're 80 to 1 to make it. Can they compete? Syracuse 40 to 1. Those are the type of at least ones that where you could say even have a remote shot, as opposed to the Big Ten or the SEC, where the lower tier teams of those conferences are not getting in.
This is, I don't think it's going to happen, but sometimes they leave these markets up. Georgia Tech pulls the upset. Go to these derivative markets and get down maybe on a Georgia Tech on this. I did it one time. Hawaii beat Colorado State. This is like 6-7 years ago on a week 0. They were 16.5-point underdog, and a couple of people left the win total up on Hawaii. They just pulled an upset as a 2-touchdown plus underdog. I was betting over the win total. They didn't like that. It was a good way to get yelled at by the book, but I did look for that kind of stuff, folks, because some books do leave stuff like that up. The derivatives, I think they're pretty good about taking win totals down, but some of these other derivative markets, you might be able to find some. Mason, we already talked about that. Rick, Brad, can you share some insight on how you get down on the FCS games at good numbers?
Rick, I mean, do you want a social security number too, so you can get a bank account number, so you can say, I mean, Jesus, Rick, God,
so it's simple. I have good FCS power ratings that I don't share it with anybody. I don't. I'd look to see when books open it up. FanDuel's been good. And I've gotten good limits at FanDuel, not through my personal account, but through a buddy, because obviously FanDuel is not here in the state of Nevada. So I have I think I'm at 20. So I'm comfortable. I'll just put it that way. So that's how we do it. So we'll see. Now, tomorrow we are doing, I don't know if you're aware of this. I'm going to make sure that now. We're doing a halftime show tomorrow. Do you know that? Florida State, Georgia Tech?
I do. Okay, I was going to ask you what game we're doing it for.
Or what game do you want? You want another game? I think that's the one that makes the most
Florida
sense.
State. Yeah, I might as well do it for the premium game. I tell you what, though, if SMU's up 35-0, then we might have a second one, because I'm about to jump on and do a victory lap. If they're losing, then no, we won't have a second one.
Yeah. It's funny. Well, the plan now is we're going to do a live show halftime, just a quick show, Florida State, Georgia Tech. I bring that up because if the FCS lines are posted and widely available, I'm not going to give out stuff that's available at one book in the world. But if they are available, I do like the ABC game that night. I have a side that I'm eyeing up, and we'll see if that line holds or if they even have it posted. But there is a game on ABC on Saturday night, an FCS game. So hopefully there's some still value there when we do that halftime. Kevin in the chat, looking forward to Knish's swimming bets in late October in Michigan. Yeah. When do you close the pool down?
I honestly,
September.
It's you. I had it going in October last year. It's heated, so I'll keep it rolling as long as the weather holds up. Because I look, it's tough to close once you put the cover on, and then you're like, oh my God, now it's a tough moment. So yeah, I usually keep it open as late as possible. So hey, you be on the lookout for those guys. I mean, they don't.
Do you have a hot tub
too? Do what?
You got a hot tub?
Yeah. Well,
I can go all winter.
There we go. I can swim across, come out of the tub and stuff. So yeah, we don't even need the pool.
If you've been living under a rock, gambling Twitter's been interesting. With
I haven't seen your walking bets rendition yet.
Man, I'm getting old. I don't have time for all that. I've had enough. I'm done with the fighting. I just put it that way. The only guy I go after is he knows who he is, Fezzik. So I'm getting too old to be partake in that. But I'll consume some of the content. I thought some of the content was funny. I thought my buddy who I do a show with, old Rico Bosco, had some funny videos.
Yeah, he was in the thick of it.
He was. DT plus the points. SMU minus 18.5. Nevada plus 26.5. It's like you want both supreme meat lovers at Tostino's Pizza at 2 a.m. and see what they just come out with a half and half, man. Love this time of year. I have the SMU minus 18.5 ticket. Nevada, I think Nevada gets smashed. I'll say this about the quarterback. I think it's a positive they're going to play Jennings. Run the offense. I love just get the backup in there who's good and keep running that offense. And he can run around. So I'm rooting for you, buddy. That would be good for the show, to say the least. Shane, SMU first half. And should I wait on Notre Dame This is interesting. Can get a 3 now. You guys see it getting 3.5, 4? That's a good question. I personally was waiting on that. I was like, how high is this going to go? I don't know if we are. I've already seen some of the threes have gotten even taken out.
Yeah.
But we'll know more next week. Next Friday, will tell me everything. But
yeah, and I think it's very similar to the FSU 10s. I think people would be all over that. So if they do come, they would come very briefly.
I'm part of the A&M money right now, but man, 3.5, I would have a pretty big bet on Notre Dame because we're already like beyond my power rating on this game because I do think Notre Dame is a better team. I don't like the matchup specifically, their offensive line versus A&M's defensive line. I don't like, the atmosphere in that. Just historically speaking, Notre Dame, does not win these types of games. But man, if we did get up to 3.5, a lot of 2.5s in the market. I saw some 3s getting bought up today. So if you want to bet 3 now, I don't know if you're going to get a better number than that. I really don't. So we'll see. More on that game next week. Big game. I didn't know if you guys knew that. It's I'll be nervous. So Tunes had played Nevada plus 27, more or less confident now. I'm fine with it.
Yeah,
that's you. So
yeah, where's the number at now? So that's one of those. I mean, I'm just telling you, not to be in a dick. It just it didn't get back to itself for free. I'll tell you that. It takes serious money to move it at that later in the week. So that it's obviously again, I fine with the position. If you want, 26.5. Our friends at FD still have it. So I was good to anything under 27. So that's still in range if you want a little piece of there.
There you go. Love it. And I was obviously joking with that tweet. I was just trying to have fun. I think people overthink things. These lines have been up, man. It's just you thought Knish moved in an extra half point. Let's go ahead and find value on Nevada. I wasn't. I didn't agree with that. John Haynes King, plus 125, scored a rushing touchdown in 7 of his last 8 games last season. Have you done anything that?
I mean, that's a really thin number for a quarterback. I hear you, John, on where they were using him in 7 of the last 8 there, where they was using the legs a lot. It's too thin for me. So I couldn't get there on that number. So it would be a no at the 125. I hear you. I don't love the matchup to it, and then FSU's defensive line getting around there. So I would be no. I would need a better price.
Michael in the check. Week 0 totals, derivative totals. Well, we gave you one best bet. First half under 28.5.
I will say, I'll add in.
You got another one.
Some people that I work with this morning were liking that under in the Hawaii Delaware State game. Apparently, the wind.
Wind.
Yeah, so weather related, not necessarily matchup related, but it appears to be a pretty, and you see FanDuel's already they got a pretty sharp number there at 54.5. But
that is down because I think I saw as high as 57.5, 58 in the market.
Yep.
It's always windy in Hawaii, though. I will tell everybody they see that 20-25 mile an hour forecast. It's always that in Hawaii. I
guess Matt. I mean, I know there's the Delaware State travel issue and everything. I don't have a great feel on this game in general. I think there's a lot of different variables at play. So I don't have. It's not one where I want a massive position on anything.
I do think under is probably the right side. I'm not sure how much Hawaii wants to show. But again, if you're taking an under 54.5 and you got 40-point underdog, there's probably a little bit of correlation starting
right.
With under and underdog there. Derek, loyal listener here, and took Notre Dame over 9.5 wins way back when. Yeah, we did give that out. I remember that. I bet that. Should I take under 10.5 wins or let it ride? I can tell you I bet over 9.5 wins. I bet under 10.5 wins. I prefer, as of right now, I prefer the under 10.5 wins. I have a bigger position on that. They're already an underdog in week 1. And if they lose that game like the market's expecting, that they got to win their next 11 games. That's a tall task. So under 10.5 for me.
I don't believe. Yeah, I would agree.
And I think 10-2 is probably the most likely record. So I
Yep.
think there's a really good chance of you, winning both bets.
Yep. No, I'm with you. I like it. Couldn't have said it better myself. I took some under 9.5 early, very, very, very early, and then back on some 10.5 as well.
Looking at this, I lost my spot. I'm terrible. What's the buy price for James Madison? Shane in the chat. Is it 6.5? I don't know. It's down. I love Bob Chesney. In case you're living under a rock there, I love my man, but there's so much roster turnover in the first game. I'm gonna tell you how I'm gonna treat it unless it really gets cheap. I'm just gonna let my Charlotte ticket ride at this point.
I'm close. I'm not 6.5 is not a buy for me.
5.5.
Yep.
Yeah, I can hear you. I think I made it 9, so I should be betting it now theoretically. Sometimes I need a little bit more wiggle room in week 1, especially when I already took a position with Charlotte at double digits. So that's an interesting game. Going to learn a lot about both teams. Nobody cares about that nationally, but I got my TV. I have 5 TVs, and I'm nerd. I already have exactly. I know what game is going to be on what TV at what time right now. So that's actually on one of my main TVs because I think it's an intriguing game. I'm gonna learn a lot. I think it's on ESPNU on Saturday night, next Saturday. He also was asking about Penn State. We might have a head-to-head on that next week. I need 7 to play back Penn State on that. Any late conference Heisman or national champ futures to add to the portfolio? Have you done anything this week? I know your buddy Tent had a Heisman pick.
Yeah, I know a friend in the 10 added a Cam Ward there. Price was a little thin for me. And I mean, that's one where, it is a marquee game where if they beat Florida, then it's one of if they lose to Florida, it's probably dead. If they beat Florida, then he's like, but no, I wasn't in love with that one. But I have not added anything recently. And
I'm not in love with a Mario Cristobal quarterback.
Yeah, I that one's wasn't in love for me. A national championship usually is not one I do something with preseason almost ever. So that's one I will say we've talked about it a few times. The make the playoff market is one that I'm excited about for the year, and national championship. To me, I think you just get such great value. Certain teams off losses or one of that, or let some of the things play out. Preseason is not one I usually that market. We've talked about it for years on this when we were doing the show. Is not usually a good one to dive into preseason.
I will say Alabama that he did give out. I agree with that one. I'm liking more and more. I like the Crimson Tide more and more as we get on through this. That's a sneaky team right now. I'll tell you what. I did make that. I added Alabama to make the playoff at plus 110 because I actually can paint a scenario where they make it a 9-3. So
that's fair.
I did add that. I did add that to my personal portfolio earlier this week, and I already have Alabama to win the SEC. So that's one. Drunk driver, Eastern Kentucky plus 29.5. We'll talk. I don't want to say too much. I agree. I'll put it that way on that one. Spade, what triggered the move in the Penn State West Virginia game? Dr. Bob gave out West Virginia there plus 110.
The
Ryan
good doctor.
Yeah, I like Dr. Bob. I do. We talk often during the season. So he's an old school market influencer that people forget about and still influences markets. Ryan in the chat, how would you suggest to use the profit boost that the books give out 50% and 100% profit boost alt lines? I'm going to leave this one to you because we in the state of Nevada don't have profit boost and all that stuff. You got more experience with that than me.
I mean, I think you try and, maximize. It depends on, say, what you're getting there. Usually, that's one of those, like when I would get, a free play or something like that in the day, would you kind of usually, I liked it to get something, plus money, whether you're doing a small SGP or something or a money line dog or something. That's one of those I kind of like think you get a little bit more bang than just using it on a straight bet. You want to take a little bit more bang for your buck and really give yourself, something that might be 2 to 1, 3 to 1. You can get it up to whatever 4.5 to 1, 6 to 1, 7 to 1. I like to use it in that fashion, especially because usually those are something where the max bet they're going to give you on it is, smaller, where you might only get, a 20, 50, $100 or something. So like to use it on something where you can juice up some odds on something that, turns it into a legitimately like plus EV, significantly plus EV play, where you're using it on that. So that'd be my shorthand answer on where to use it.
Zach says he uses them on first touchdowns a lot.
That's what, yeah. I mean, similar methodology there.
Are they still got a lot of those going, or is that starting that market getting sucked dry after the 2018, 2019 New Jersey, where it's like giving away free money?
Yeah, I'm not, I'm not sure. Well, so he's talking about like profit boosts in the account, not the deposit bonuses, like a profit boost they would give you for like, kind of for certain wagers that they have like a daily profit boost or something. So, but yeah, I agree. Like the deposit bonuses aren't what they used to be, but the profit boosts are still around. You don't get to see any of that.
I don't get to see any of that. So I sound more like an idiot than I usually am. I mean, I'm clueless on that stuff because I don't have that in Nevada, unfortunately. Charles in the chat commenting live from Dublin.
Oh, baby.
Enjoy yourself.
Chucky Irish over here on live for the game.
Rumors are true. DJU does suck at football. Give me the under 56.5. Well, we like under first half. 56.5 is a decent number at this point. So yeah, but don't disagree with you, and have a Guinness on me. I see McAfee and them were having some fun. He was pretty drunk on air today. He's dancing with Nick Saban's wife and stuff. That's interesting television. Jackie in the chat. Hey, gentlemen.
Jack. When I first saw her name, I was like, is this Kostos' wife? But she spells it a little differently. So
there you go.
Good to have some some women in the chat here.
Yeah, is this our first? I mean,
it might be the first female commentator in the history to hit the books.
Yeah, so kudos for that. Riley Leonard, Notre Dame question, near and dear to my heart. With Riley Leonard playing his old coach Mike Elko, who has the advantage? Leonard knowing Elko's scheme or Elko knowing Leonard's strengths? I always go in the master versus apprentice. I always go with the master. So I think Elko has the edge, at least on paper, although Riley Leonard's got more weapons, and people, Notre Dame doesn't have any weapons at wide receiver. That wide receiver room is going to be different this year. So it'll be interesting to see. Riley Leonard also it's tough. He's got a new OC and, Mike Denbrock. So slight edge to Elko. Where you at on that one?
Yeah, I'm of the same mindset there. That I think that the coach usually kind of knows what his quarterback can't do, and then will modify the scheme to that, especially defensively, where you can do some different things kind of with that. So as opposed to Riley Leonard knowing, exactly what Elko's defense is going to do, because I'm one, that'll change, and two, a bunch of different calls on defense you can make to affect that. So I agree. I think a little bit of an advantage, Elko there.
Jeff in the chat, Hawaii -24 first half sicko bet. Wait, have you seen? Is this game going to be on pay-per-view? It's not on a regular channel, is it? Or you got the stream, the illegal stream?
Well, I tell you, I feel like Hawaii football, the Hawaii Mafia has some deal with like a different provider every year. Like it was Stadium for a bit, and then I don't know. Is this game like what is this game?
Spectrum on? Is it Spectrum? I don't know.
Spectrum. Yeah. So I don't know if I can say what I'm thinking of. Here,
first half. Don't bet 24. Go on over to our friends at FanDuel.
There you go. Yeah, you really
minus 22.5. So
22.5 there.
Let FanDuel help you out there, Jeff. So make sure you bet that instead of the minus 24. I don't have a bet there. I'll be trying to watch. Remember, it kind of. There were some illegal streams and what it was the 2020.
That's what you took the word.
Yes, remember those?
Yeah.
I think we were streaming. What was it? Like it felt like some guy was posting on YouTube, but like he was taking a picture. Like I love that stuff. He was taking a video from his phone of an illegal stream or something, whatever. It was like a Stephen F. Austin game or something like that. Tarleton State. Love it. I'm sure there'll be some of them up on Saturday night. BK, how do you feel about FAMU and Norfolk State? Total may be a little low. FanDuel's got that one up. I don't have
what-
anything on total side
Yeah,
for me.
I
Have you
got.
heard whispers about this game?
No, the people. Listen, I don't want to get kicked in the head for talking about it. We'll try on the.
We'll
If you
talk
tune
about
in,
it tomorrow.
yeah,
We'll
if you
talk
tune
about
in
it tomorrow. We are
tomorrow,
not talking about this game.
yeah,
There is
we'll
a
give you
chance
some-
we will talk about the game tomorrow. I'll just say that. I am involved and I want to get more involved. If you catch my drift. Just a few more here. We talked about Tom, the Tent Cam Ward Heisman, not a wild one. The one I love on Tent that I'll be cheering big time for him is Dylan Gabriel to win the Heisman. I think that's a great bet. That's my favorite
I thought
Heisman
the
bet that
KJ
I personally made.
Jefferson, where he got the price to, I like the KJ Jefferson at, there was some hundreds out there. I bet some nine. Like I like that. And I agree. Gabriel at the strongest position to actually win it. The KJ Jefferson at that price, in terms of what I think UCF can do on offense this year, I thought was strong as well.
And Zach, that's the reason why the Cam Ward's team, tailgate does have market influence. Connor in the chat, also James Madison -6.5, a buy point. Not yet. I don't know if it's done moving yet. That's a game that can be one of them one way. Just it never stops. So that's what I'm interested in next week, to see if this one way stuff that's been nothing but one way all summer, if it continues next week. If it does, I will be buying back maybe some James Madison. Keith in the chat, Arizona -30 versus New Mexico, depending on outcome of a Montana State game. Yeah, if they leave it up and the New Mexico State or New Mexico's getting their brains beat out, lose by 3-4 touchdowns to Montana State, which I think could happen. Certainly Arizona's not going to be laying 30. They'll be 31, 31.5.
Yep.
So then that's something to keep an eye on. If you want to get in front of moves, if not all books, a lot of books will take the next week's game down during the game, but some don't. So that's what you should be betting this Saturday. I can't give you any better advice other than some FCS stuff tomorrow. Shane in the chat, buyback on Maryland -19.5. That's another one that's just one way, Connecticut all summer long. And
yeah,
I'm not 19.5's not there yet. I think I need a 18, 17. Where do you need?
I don't know.
I'm not Connecticut, don't you?
Man, I'm not. I don't love the Maryland team this year.
No,
at all, to be honest with you. So
a lot of money on the under, probably correlation dog and under.
Yeah, I would honestly. I need. It's just a side that I really don't want to get involved in. I would need the kind of a stupid number to pop up for me to want to buy back on some Maryland.
I'll give you one. I'll think about this for Monday's show and Friday's show, but this would be. I think there's always one in week one, like a 3-touchdown underdog wins outright. That would be a candidate for me.
Okay.
So
I don't hate
that
for
it. Yeah, I'll look at it, but you know how it is in week one.
Yep.
Yeah, I think Connecticut might be live in that game. Connor, I'm not going to talk FCS. There's just not enough books. I know our sponsor, and kudos to FanDuel. They have them up, and I bet at FanDuel. I'm just not talking to them until there's multiple books up, and you guys can take advantage. More of you can take advantage, because I'm going to tell you what, if I give out something on this, the line's going to move 3-4 points. And people, I might not be here for the Saturday show if you catch my drift. And not by personal choice. Or if I am, I'll be like this. Laying on my back in a hospital bed like Hugh Freeze.
Doing the show from Nevada Medical over there. Yeah.
Yeah. I gotta watch myself. Yeah, that would be me.
Yeah.
Well done, Zach. Nathan in the chat, you guys, New Mexico, if we get a 14, I need a 14.5. And even then, I don't know. I think what I sent, you're the one I sent Montana State, right? 4.5.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Because I'm sure you're like, what the hell is he giving me a FCS favorite? What did I tell you? I was like, this line probably should be 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I know some my guy that I'm not on New Mexico even at 14.
Yeah, maybe I'll tweet that out if it's going well on Saturday. I'll tweet out our conversation from what that was. Kudos to FanDuel. They posted that in what was that? Late June, early July?
Early.
Yeah. So if you don't believe our conversation, I could post that. And I said, I think this line should be 2 touchdowns. A couple more and then we're out. Michael in the chat. Yeah, we talked week 0 totals, derivative totals. Again, under 28.5 first half there. So yeah, that's what we got there total wise. And you said also totals, keep out the win forecast for Delaware State, Hawaii. Is that it? You got anything else?
No, I think I don't know, Rob. I'll do a plug there. Aranda Gadsden Mackey. If you were watching the summer shows, we gave out that at a much better price than I think is around at the moment. What's on the award there? So yeah, I mean, I liked it. I wouldn't play it where the numbers are at now. So, but again, I think he's live for the award. Should be pretty good.
We also gave out Deion Burks,
Yeah,
Blitnikoff.
that's yeah.
Did you? You didn't never said. Did you get down quite a bit on some of them awards? Because
the Burks.
Oh no, it was the player. There was individual books that had a bunch of like season.
Oh yeah. The player season long. It was a different place. They didn't take a lot of money. So I played a ton of them, but nothing crazy in terms of what liquidity. So yeah.
All right. I got nothing else. So I mean, we gave out a few best bets. What the prop bet once again? Lewis, Nevada over 140.5 passing yards.
Yep. I tell you, and I know some.
I like that one. That one's done. That one's done in the early third quarter.
I agree with you. I would be, and I know he had some disaster games last year. I would be, and these are from guys who like SMU. But 140 yards on this type of game with the new offense they installed and the OC they brought in, I don't know. I would be shocked. I mean, he would have to be so bad to not get to 140 or pulled or hurt or something. Because and it's not like this SMU defense is the 85 Bears. So yeah, Will
in this chat. I mean, what did you ask? I mean, I see Florida State minus 10.5. He said same old. I asked a question 4 different times in crickets. What did he ask? Florida State minus 10.5. I lean that way. Take the 10. We said that. Can I get a hit the books FanDuel 3 weeks free NFL package in Mississippi? It should be fine, right?
I would think so. I don't know. I will. Yeah. I mean, I would contact them, but
I mean, remember I'll reread the ad. Visit FanDuel.com/hitthebooks for this one. But what you have to do is you bet $5 and you get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket. But you have to have YouTube and YouTube TV. I mean, and then go back to the beginning of the show where I'm not going to reread the terms, but I did read the terms and regulations on this. So there you go. There's no need to be hostile. We haven't lost. We haven't lost. No need to be hostile towards it. We haven't lost a bet yet. I mean, wait till
wait till 14 up in Nevada with Lewis. 11 for 11, 200 yards before we go there.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there'll be many opportunities to get after us.
You know what? No, it's because in Mississippi there's no app, so like they're all that the state law, like you have to go there in person to to get down. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure. To be honest with you, I don't know. It's worth a shot though, because I mean, 3 weeks, as you said, 3 weeks Sunday Ticket now is like it's a $200.
Yeah, that's an investment. It's worth it. Wes, I'm not taking the USC hat off. We are USC all the way in week 1 against.
Yeah, the doctor, that was him on USC too, wasn't it?
That was the doctor on USC.
Yeah.
So, all right, we'll close it out. We're not going to be gone long though, folks. It's not. You don't even have to wait till Monday to see our ugly faces. You can see us tomorrow. I'll just announce it right now. We're going to do halftime of the Florida State Georgia Tech game. So right around 1:30 Eastern, 10:30 Pacific. We'll do a quick show there. We'll talk FCS. I know the chat's itching for that. I can tell, but we'll talk that and much more. Maybe there's a second half play to be had in that particular Florida State Georgia Tech game, and we'll be talking all that. So for the man, the myth, the legend himself, Joey Knish, producer extraordinaire Zach Phillips. Thanks to all the chat questions and concerns and comments. I'm merely Brad Powers. We'll see you tomorrow. Hit the books, part of the Hammer Betting Network.